So these are the realities of an older dog. Ted's getting to the point where he really doesn't go that far from home anymore, do you? Every once in a while, he'll get the occasional bit of activity, but you can definitely tell that he's not interested in doing any kind of walking at all anymore. It's just too painful for him. His rear quarter is pretty bad. When you pick him up, you can actually hear his little back crack. I'm sure the arthritis is starting to get to him, as it is with me too. But yeah, it's tough because sometimes you see him and he's like, well, he looks great. But then other times you look at him and he can barely move and he like sits there on the couch and moans. And I'm like, I don't want that either. So yeah, there's some tough decisions coming up most likely. Ones I'm not really interested in making, but that's how that goes. So last night we had to dose him up with gabapentin because he was doing rapid circles on the couch. He could not get comfortable. He's feeling better this morning, obviously, because the drugs are still in his system. But he's definitely he's ready to go home. So I guess my litmus test on this is going to be when he doesn't want to do this kind of stuff. And when he's just on the couch and he's just moaning and not wanting to come out here and walk anymore or do what he wants to do, then that's going to be when we're going to have to call it. I've never really liked it when I see people letting their dogs drag out to the last second when, you know, their hind ends are giving out and they're falling over and they're trying to put them in wheelchairs and all sorts of other crap like that. I think if he can't have the quality of life that, you know, he paid for all these years by being a faithful servant and guardian of the property, then I think we're just not doing our jobs properly. But as long as he's reasonably comfortable and as long as he's got a quality of life that you can definitely tell that he's enjoying, then I guess we'll just have to see that for what it is. That's all I'm going to say about this until things change. So on a slightly more uplifting note, I think I need to tell everybody where he got the name Terrible Ted. Ted is always been a really good dog. Super smart. And he's always done everything. He trained very easily. He always did pretty much everything you wanted him to do, except for, of course, the sandwich stealing thing, which for some reason we could never socialize him into not stealing food given the opportunity. I mean, he just ripped off the neighbor's cat the other day. The neighbor's cat had a chipmunk that it killed stuck underneath the car, and then Ted swooped in and just grabbed it. He didn't even want it, but he stole it anyways, because that's just how he is. His brain's wired for that sort of thing. But Ted basically got the moniker of Terrible Ted because when he was a puppy, one of the things he really liked doing was modifying furniture for us. And he has a really, really long lineage of modifying furniture for us. He took a lot of stuff apart. Some things he took apart, I didn't even notice he took apart. The back part of our kitchen chairs back in the day, I came home and I found a piece of banana-shaped wood with holes in it. I'm like, what the heck is this thing? And it turned out to be that Ted managed to pull the back part of the chair off. I don't know what he did with the inside piece of it, but the outside piece of it he left on the floor. And we didn't even notice what it came off him until we looked at the chairs and realized that the uprights were fine. He didn't even put one tooth mark on the uprights. But on everything else, it was just completely shredded. And then, of course, when we were doing work on the house, he, took sheetrock buckets full of stuff and shredded the sheetrock material apart. And he was just always pretty curious that way. And then one time he got mad when he was a puppy and he let himself out of the crate because Ted figured out locks early on. We had to start putting clips on the crate lock in order to keep him inside of it, because when we were gone, if you didn't keep him inside of it, he would make a huge mess. He would just chew plants up and tear things apart, and he was pretty brutal. he ended up on top of the breakfast bar one time. He got into Mary's appointment book when we were gone. Apparently he thought we were gone too long. He took the appointment book down, brought it onto the ground, ripped pages out of it, crapped in the book, and the book was closed when we came home. So this seemed pretty intentional to us, that he was sending us some kind of a message. And that is how he got the name Terrible Ted.